BBH, I think we do have a bit of a special sauce in reinvigorating sort of latent icons, right? Icons that perhaps have like lost their way. But we all know Goodyear. And I think one of the things we did here, and it's a real belief around BBH, is establishing a strong point of view from the brand. So before you're getting to any communications there, it's not a positioning, it's not like a lofty purpose, it's a point of view. It's what your brand really believes in. And it's what can orchestrate all of your comms that are to come. And so that's what's sitting under here is like, tires had been forgotten about. When you looked at tire ads that kind of preceded when this relaunch happened, they barely show tires. It's like they're embarrassed of making tires. They want to save the world and be scientists. And they're like, no, man, like you make tires. And Goodyear, as the number one tire brand in North America, like we wanted to really own that. We wanted to make tire, like pride in tires. Tires worth bragging about. We weren't going to let tier four tires like take this premium name brand tire down. And so that's kind of the North Star. And you see that in Still Always Forever, saying we've always been here for these iconic moments and we're going to still be here. And then we wanted to take a more consumer lens for the Eagle, family of tires. And we wanted to actually have there be a consumer insight sitting at the center. And so the real story that you're seeing there is like when you're born fast, it's there, right? When you're a kid, it's in you and you just want to get it out. So you're seeing the story of these two kids kind of in the future as adults and then coming back to that moment of like when it's in you, it's there. And that's what Goodyear Eagles are all about.
Hey, listen, real quick, I glaze often, but I try to be intentional with my glazes, Gino. If this shit doesn't get you fired up, yeah. Like, I'm sorry. I don't know what it says about me. Maybe I'm a simple person, I just want to see shit go fast and set to dope music. I don't know. I'm sorry, but it works for me.
But I want to get into the insight and how you figure that out, because we rarely talk to strategists. We are talking with the best in the world right now. So where did you find this? Is this focus groups? How do you do it? When did you realize once you're fast, it's always within you, it's within us? How did you guys unlock that?
I mean, it was twofold. One, you'll hear this I'm obsessed with consumers. Every process now has to be powered by AI, but people buy brands, even if they're using the LLMs to do it, right?
Did you hear Gino just did you do a
I don't know.
I was saying the AI.
No, it's the AI thing. You said everything's powered by AI, and then Gino did Gino in reaction to that did a.
I do enjoy it.
But you were saying it's consumers. You love consumers. Sorry.
No, but a huge shout out to Will Rowland, the CMO over there, who he himself is kind of the epitome of this insight. And he was talking to us about what it felt like for him, the feeling he wanted to invoke. We weren't even talking about the brief. He was talking about when you put on the right song and what it feels like. And when you're going there and you're like, nothing can fucking stop me. I am on top of the world. I am in control, right? And we were like, wait, this isn't just him that feels this way. And so we did a bunch of IDIs talking to consumers about what it feels like to go fast. And then we even were doing it in quick term quant tools that we use, these simple open ends. And these big emotive words came. And the thing that was so interesting is when people talk about it, it's out of their control, right? It's this feeling that overcomes you and everything drops away. And it's only in that moment. And then there's a million emotive words. And so what the whole point was, and this was in the brief, was that's the feeling we want to invoke. We don't want to talk about fast. Of course, we're going to fucking show fast, but that's not the point. We want to invoke the feeling. And in fact, the first creative criteria that we had when we showed the first rough cuts was goosebumps, chills. If you're not getting chills, then the edit isn't there yet. And I think you can feel that in the work.
This is why Chief Strategy Officer of the Year, listening to the client, when he got excited or she got excited in that briefing session, and then also talking to the consumers, being consumer obsessed, finding the insight, pushing it to the team. It works for me, Jack.
I have a question. That's okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. It feels like it's in the day of AI, in the day of you can find insights allegedly through data and these large models. It almost feels like it's never been more important to differentiate yourself by actually going and talking to people. We talked with someone recently who was it's never been marketers need to talk to people more, need to talk to real people more, and not rely on data points as much, because I don't think you'll find those kinds of insights. Samantha, what are your thoughts about that? With all the things that AI does great, there's obviously, you can't deny that. There also seems to be a focus more than ever on face-to-face human conversation when developing insights.
Yes, because you don't find it like even, and again, as I said, we make sure that our process is staying up to date, that we're powered there. But for example, when we talk to consumers, there's definitely shortcuts that you can take to get to scale, like AI moderators and other things. And I think those are augmentation tactics, because when you're talking to someone, you hear that thing, you hear the nugget, and then you probe and you push. That's only going to come from really talking to people. And frankly, it doesn't have to be like IDIs or formal focus groups. It can be at the bar. It can, like you can talk to someone. Those are the real people. That's who you want to bring into who you want to bring into the brand, and actually getting them out of the false, artifice of like them on a, weird gray backdrop talking about speed. Sometimes it's better. And so it's really finding the ways to talking to people. And we actually have a whole thing that we do. It's called Silent Spenders. That is a reflection of that. It's a proactive thing that we do where we go out and we seek sort of, I don't even want to say underrepresented audiences. It's like a different view than how the industry tends to talk about audiences that have immense spending power. And it's kind of meant to be a training ground for strategists to make sure that we never stop talking to people. So the first one that we did was around dinks, just dual income, no kids, and better understand who they are and their motivations and their lifestyle. We were doing in-homes. The team traveled across the country, just really getting to spend meaningful time with people. And then we just released our second version and we changed up the methodology a little bit. And we were talking to neurodivergent folks in America. And we actually at first just talked to people with all different kinds of neurodivergences, and then doubled down into ADHD, which now makes up about 10% of the adult population, which is a bit nuts. And it was like, and it's about reinforcing like the POV that we really believe in this. It's something we fund ourselves, we do it for ourselves, but it's about just like getting out there each time, finding new ways to talk to people, connect with people, and showing the level of insight that you unlock on the other side.
I mean, you guys like talk to people. I mean, this is just like, take notes.
Take notes. This is what we do.
Wake up. The other thing I was going to say, someone, I don't know if you'd agree with this, Samantha, but if you hear something from one person in the same day, it's a data point. If you hear it from two different people in the same day, it's a trend. 3 times in the same day, it's culture. Boom. Thoughts?
I love it. I mean, first of all, I'm into it. However, I'm not mad if you provoke the second mention, right? Because sometimes they think it, but they won't know until you ask the right question. And again, it's why I believe in real people asking the questions, because an AI moderator is going to ask whatever the next question is meant to be, or where the conversation's logically meant to go next. But a great moderator, which I think every strategist somewhere in them actually has to be, knows how to ask the divergent question or the side door question that gets them talking about the thing you're really after. Because if you ask the same questions, if you ask the same follow-ups, you're going to get the same answers.
How prevalent is it? Is that one of the main ways that people are using AI currently for like when it comes to strategy? Is it a lot of like using it for moderating those focus groups and some of that work, or because I don't know strategy that well, so I'm just curious.
I mean, I think it definitely probably changes agency to agency and what tools you're empowered with. I think first and foremost, you kind of use it as your little strategy homie, right? It's like your companion to like vet thoughts with, to bounce thoughts off with. One of my favorite use cases is I love alliteration. And when I can't think of like a P word that means culture, you're like, do, right? That's a really sophisticated use case. No, but you use it to ask your stupid questions, to vet your initial hypotheses. So like, there's definitely that use case. And then there's incredible things that Publicis, is doing on this front, whether it's, synthetic audiences so that you can vet things with people on just like a real-time basis. There are things like AI moderators, because qual is very time intensive. You're sitting and talking to one person for an hour. Via moderators, you can do that, and then you can augment it to actually scale the findings and make sure, to your point, it isn't just one person, but you're actually onto something. And then there's a ton, there's hacking your way into faster briefs. Our timelines are only getting shorter. So I think there's a ton of really great use cases, but like anyone on AI will tell you, it's only as good as the prompter. And so the prompter is still the strategist, right? So it's still about the strength of your thinking and your ability to like sort of weaponize it for you.
Yeah, little strategy homie.
Little strategy homie.
Little strategy. I could use a little. I think Ross. Like Ross is
TM. Trademarked. I just did it, but it's officially trademarked in the moment.
Ross is a research homie. Ross is We got him knocking on doors. You are not. If you work at an agency, you are not safe. He will be at your door. All right. Well, Samantha, thanks so much for joining the show.
Congrats again.
Congrats
on the win and the campaign.
Win. Yes.
Nicely done.
Nicely done. And we will talk very soon with a wig on, maybe. Who knows?
Ideally.
Ideally. Thank you, Samantha.
Thank you so much for having me.
That was great.